Yeah. Okay, I wanted to show you my absolute favorite healthy fall treat. It's a plum apple bake. It only requires just a few ingredients, and I'm gonna walk you through it. I'm gonna show you how simple this is to make. I've been eating it almost every day for the past 2 or 3 weeks. That's how much I love it. My kids love it, and I love to top it off with some vegan coconut whipped cream. I've done a video about that years ago. It's not very good quality. I think it was like originally a Periscope video and then I uploaded it to YouTube. So I will show you quickly how to make it because it's so simple. So I got this little apple coring thing. I just found it on Amazon. It's the easiest way to do this. And I don't remove the skins either because that also requires a lot more time, and I don't mind the texture of the skins. Also, they have a lot more vitamins in them, so I like to keep them on. But most recipes for apple bakes suggest that you peel off the skins. But I'm all about efficiency and doing it as making healthy meals as quickly as possible. As I've mentioned in my other meal prepping videos, that I like to make a lot at one time because it saves me time. So I make this, I've been making it for the last month or so, I think, like once a week, and I pretty much eat a little bit of it every day of the week, sometimes even twice a day. Some of my kids like it, some of them don't, so usually I get to eat most of it. Just cut the apples first. This is the quickest way I do it. I will start adding the apples to this, but first I'm gonna spray it with a little bit of coconut oil. And now for the plums. These are also from our tree, and we had so many of them and I couldn't use them in time because plums ripen a lot quicker than apples, so I froze them, which makes it a whole lot easier because I've already removed the seeds. Okay, now for the batter. Okay, I've already blended up the oatmeal, so I've made it into oatmeal flour. Just blended up some regular oatmeal. This is about a cup, a little bit more than a cup, but if you've watched my other videos, you know that I'm really not into measuring, and I promise you don't need to measure. It can be slightly different every time and it still tastes amazing. And you don't have to add these. You can use just, to keep it simple, you can use just oatmeal flour, but I like to add a little bit of quinoa flour and some tapioca flour. This one mainly just to add some other kinds of vitamins and a little bit different flavor, but it's really not necessary for the texture. This one I do like for the texture because tapioca flour makes it a little bit chewier, so I like that. So I just sprinkle in a little bit, not a whole lot. And you can use baking powder, but I like to use arrowroot in place of baking powder. Yep, just sprinkle in. I'm guessing it's about a couple teaspoons. And then of course you gotta have lots of cinnamon. And I like a lot, so I'll put some in this mixture, and no measuring. Then I'll sprinkle a little bit on the apples. And then a little bit of vanilla extract. You guys, measuring is so overrated. You do not need to measure. I'm guessing I use about a cup of this almond, the almond milk, but actually first add the coconut oil because it's easier to mix if you do. And I think I use about a fourth cup of coconut oil. You can even use ghee butter, which I love, has an amazing flavor, and there's no lactose in ghee butter. So I like to just add a little bit of both because it gives it a good flavor. But again, you don't need to add all these different kinds of ingredients. The main important ingredients are some kind of oil or butter, some kind of flour, and some kind of liquid. So you can decide. You can use water instead of almond milk. You can use regular milk instead of almond milk. You can use regular flour, but I'm trying to make this as healthy as possible and use gluten-free, lactose-free ingredients. And then for the sugar, I use a mixture, again, a mixture combination, but you can use all stevia or all coconut palm sugar or date sugar, whatever kind of alternative sugar that you like. And I just like to combine the two. It's a little clumpy, no problemo. Just break it up. So I think I use about a 1/4 cup. I don't think you need a whole lot of sugar because the apples and the plums are already so sweet. And then I'll mix this up again a little bit more before I add the almond milk, just so it's not super clumpy with the oil. I add a little sprinkle of salt. I add about a cup of that. I'm going to top it by sprinkling a little bit of oatmeal and walnuts. I love adding, you can add pecans or almonds, any kind of nuts to sprinkle over the top because it adds like a nice crunchiness to it, which I love. It makes it taste more like a real apple crisp, you know, with the crunch that you get from adding a lot of butter and sugar. Hi, Sean.
Hi, babe.
Okay, now just chopped up the walnuts and now I just sprinkle them over the top. And then I like to spray a little bit of the coconut oil over the top too, just so it stays moist while it bakes. I'm gonna make the coconut whipped cream. It's super easy. Just get 2 cans or more. Sometimes I do 3 cans at once, just depending on how much you think you'll use for the week, because it only lasts about 5 days in the refrigerator. So you put this in the you have to put them in the refrigerator for like a few hours so that it can separate and you'll get the chunk of the cream separating from the milk. And sometimes I will open up a can and there will be this little oil film over the top, and you do not want that in your coconut cream because it'll be very clumpy. You'll get like clumps of this hard oil. So usually it's when you put it in the refrigerator, it separates and it's just usually on the top. As you can see, it kind of just crumbles off. And this is like the oil, the coconut oil. So you don't want that in your cream. So just set that aside. See that film? You just gotta get it off. See? And then underneath, that's the cream, that's the yummy part. So I'm just gonna make sure I get all of that out first. And then gently scoop out the cream part. You'll see there is the milk, and you just need a little bit of this, but mostly you just want the cream. And I can see that there's still a little bit of this oil on the edges, so I'm gonna make sure I get that off. There. Got most of it. Now I'm just gonna drizzle a little bit in there. And you can, if you don't wanna waste this, you can use this, the milk in smoothies. Add cinnamon. There's lots of different ways that you can make this coconut cream. You can add lemon zest with maple syrup, and it's so good. I like to use that one on top of like fresh fruit, but for like a bake, like an apple bake like what we're making today, I like it to have cinnamon and vanilla. And you can use stevia, or you can use 100% pure maple syrup to sweeten it. You can use any kind of sweetener really. Now you just blend it up. Wanted to remind you guys about my free meal plan available for anyone who wants to go download it from my website. Just go to wannabebalanced.com/meal plan. Kind of like a 1 week blueprint. A lot of people ask me what kinds of things I eat on a daily basis, and those are all my ideas. Plus I've got quite a few other YouTube videos sharing more of my daily and weekly diet. Look at that. Oh yeah. So good. Now doesn't that look delicious? This is my favorite. By the way, you can totally eat this cold. This is just fresh out of the oven, but for the rest of the week, will just eat it cold with the coconut whipped cream, and it is to die for.